welcome to the FWMG channel. Today I am going to be filming a tutorial on how I edit my photos, my particular style of photos, how I edit portraits, landscape, models, just really whatever I end up shooting. So make sure you guys stay tuned. It's gonna be fucking lit and it's gonna be dope. So what I'm gonna be editing today is actually my assistant Bianca Fascinetti. We did a shoot up in Concord at a studio that a buddy of mine, Michael Bergen, owns. And we're gonna show you guys what we started with and pretty much the end results. So what we have here is Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. I'm gonna be doing all my pre-process work here, so you'll see I adjust my lighting. I do pretty much all of my main work here. I do all my deep detail blemish removals, all that healing process, dodging and burning in Photoshop afterwards. So let's watch. So I want to start off with a preset that I've already prepped for this tutorial specifically. It boosts my tone curves, gives me a little bit of the creative fade that I like in my moody work. So what I'm doing here is getting my split levels correct, my split toning. I got an initial look that I originally want to work with, so I'm gonna get the lighting and all of that good jazz right. So I feel like it's still too orange. I want to give it a more LA type vibes. This is solo mode here. I like to keep everything in solo mode so it is nice and concise. So my assistant has a little bit of acne on her chest. I'm going to use the spot healing or whatever you guys like to call that tool to go ahead and remove her blemishes, get that off her chest to correct the skin. So now let's do something with these blue babies. My ex actually had blue eyes, so I have a preset called Eyes Sydney from when I used to shoot with her. So obviously as we can see, this is definitely really blue. Didn't mean to move that. Let's go back. Control Z or Command Z if you're on Mac. So now what this is I'm still just going over her irises, really bringing the blue out in her eyes. And I feel like I've achieved a blue that I like. Like this is great as far as starting. Next, after this is actually boost my clarity up to make it just a little bit more, take the saturation down just a little bit. So now, see, let's take the saturation down, see how that looks. A lot of photo editing is really just trial and error. So I feel like that's a good look for her eyes. That's a good quick glimpse at the before and after. So now let's go in and soften up the skin a little bit, just to give it a more focused look on her eyes and her hair overall. This is the mask here, so you guys can see everywhere that we've painted, everywhere that we've brushed, really to go in with the skin softener. Really go in and go everywhere where there's a light shade on her skin. So want to go in and just make the skin blend well together and just give it an overall soft look so it's not so hard on the eyes and so it doesn't look so harsh. I actually shot this with an A7S, so it's very sharp initially. So I just want to give it a soft look and just really give the focus on our eyes. So what we're doing now is just taking the highlights up on the skin, softening a little bit, just to give it more of a blown out makeup look. As you can see, we've already came a drastically far in the process of editing. It already looks amazingly different from what we initially started with. This here just really depends on personal preference. If I'm going for a really dolled up look, sometimes I'll take moles out, sometimes I'll let them stay. It just really all depends on the person. Actually, so now what we're doing is just going in and really making sure that we hit all the small spaces that we need to hit with the skin softener. I already know there's going to be some people that have a shit ton of things to say about the way I edit, but it works for me. It's a process. This is my first tutorial, so you guys bear with me. So what we're going to do now is bring out her hair out. So what I have here is a preset named Edge. This preset I actually made for the edge of my subjects when I'm shooting with my 50mm, just to give you that in-depth feel and super contrast when the focus point lays next to the bokeh. So we're just going to bring her hair out in certain spaces and just really bring the highlights out. Booyah, super highlighted. Let's get lit. So what I'm doing now is just really adjusting my tone curve just to give you a really moody cinematic look. I don't want to go too high on the I don't want to go too high on the tone curve just because it'll give it a really uncontrasty fadey look. So I just want to do just subtly. Now we're going to export. Nope, not yet. I want to mess with the background a little bit. So as you see, sometimes in the color you can bring certain colors down to really affect the background or affect your subject skin tone, hair color, eye color, lips, really anything that's a certain color. One thing that I noticed before I exported was that I want to do something to her jacket. I know that it has a really dull army look, so I just want to make it pop out just a little bit more. One thing that you may be noticing now is that it goes from a subtle green to a really drastic yellow. We're actually going to go back and correct it and make it just a little bit more subtle so it's not so marine color, so you guys get an idea of what we just worked on. So now we're going to export. I'm gonna create a photo for us, say Bianca tutorial maybe. Awesome. Yeah, I hope it's about tutorial, right? Also, when you guys are exporting, I forgot to do this when I exported just now, but always make sure if you do use a watermark, you have that clicked on. I already just saved it, so I'm going to resave it again. But yeah. So, that in a sense, guys, is what I do in my Lightroom steps. Sorry if it was rushed. Sorry if this tutorial isn't super perfect, but I'll definitely work on it with you guys' feedback. If you follow me on Instagram, make sure you show some love to my work, because now you know the process that I take on all my photos. So stay tuned. I'm going to actually do the Photoshop tutorial after this. So let's get lit.